Bhutila Karpoche.
I'd like to begin by thanking my two nominators, Lopsa and Candice. Thank you so much for your kind words and for your support. I'd also like to thank and give a special shout out to all our representatives from Parkdale Hyde Park who make us very proud to be New Democrats. Thank you so much. I'd like to share with you my story, but before I do that, I want to acknowledge my boss, my mentor, my friend, the fearless Sherry DeNovo. Reverend Dr. Sherry DeNovo. Sherry recruited me when I was a student and a community organizer. Little did I know that I had landed in the most effective political office in Ontario. And a place where you knew from day one that your job was to represent the constituents to the very best of your ability and to fight like hell for a province that is more fair and more just for all. And you were reminded of that purpose every day. I could not have asked for a better team and a better place to be with. I'd like to thank Sherry, Carly, Susan, Lisa somewhere here, George, Ram, Patrick, of course, and all the volunteers and students over the years that have been part of our office. Thank you so much. Back to my story. Now, many of you don't know me, or maybe know me in my role as Sherry's executive assistant. So I'd like to tell you more about me. I came to Canada with my family in 2002. We landed in Parkdale, like countless families had before us. I still remember my first days in Parkdale. I saw a car with young Tamils with their Bollywood music on blast. I saw roti shops and I smelled the curries. I saw Tibetan seniors, Our Lady, Tibetan women, walking down Queen and Jameson in their chubas. I had just traveled over continents and oceans and reached a place that I didn't know much about. But right away, I felt like I belonged. I saw that our differences were something that we shared. Somehow it brought us together. And it was that common bond that allowed me to start making my life in this new home. And it was such a powerful feeling. Despite being a newcomer, having to adjust to a new place, learn a new way of doing things, it was home. And as a Tibetan, I think I felt it particularly strong because Tibetans, we've been stateless for 3 generations, looking for a home to belong to, because one inside Tibet was not possible. And I want everyone to feel that sense of belonging, because when you feel that, you experience hope. And I want to build that because I know it made all the difference for me. We we lived in Tyndall Avenue, apartment 611. And it was not what we were used to, you know. Family of 6, crammed in a small 2-bedroom apartment, never-ending maintenance requests. But we also had welcoming and generous neighbors. I remember one night, we had just finished our family dinner, and there was a knock on the door. It was our neighbor from down the hall. She asked us if we'd like to have her old TV set. We didn't have one yet, so we gladly accepted it. Her generosity really struck us. She could have sold it, she would have given it to a friend, but she gave it to us. Because she knew that we were new to the country and she thought maybe we needed one. My younger brother, oh my goodness, I will never forget, he was so worried that she was going to change her mind. Next morning, he went over to her place and knocked on her door just to confirm what had happened the previous night. All joking aside, what she did planted that sense of community in me. Because community is about that special bond of neighbors taking care of each other. And I have always felt a strong sense of community here in Parkdale Hyde Park, and I will work to take care of all my neighbors. And I want our government to do that. I want our government to take care of our neighbors, especially those who are in most need. The current government is failing at that. It's failing people, it's failing our neighbors. And I want to change that. Now I live in the Hyde Park area with my family. My husband and my daughter are here. She's only 2.5, so she's probably wondering what is going on here. Why is Mama up on stage? My parents are here, my in-laws are here. And we're all working together to raise our daughter. It's truly takes a village. And when I look at her, I think our generation will determine the fate of the planet. We are at a critical crossroads when it comes to climate change. I want to give my daughter the best life she can have, just as my parents did for me. And that means taking care of this planet. Taking care of the air, the water, the animals, the plants around us. So that is very, very important for the future of the next generation. My parents always made education a priority. They wanted me, my brothers and sisters, all of us to pursue higher education. So off I went to university. I like to tell people that I received a bachelor's degree in activism. Because in university is really where I grew as an activist. I spent my summers going to camps and trainings, and then later teaching those skills that I had learned to new activists. It was a great space to learn, to grow, to be challenged, to dream of a world that should be, it could be, and also to hone my skills in campaigning and organizing and civil disobedience tactics, and then actually carrying them out. I remember camping outside a consulate for a week in our campaign to try and free a political prisoner, and it was in Vancouver, so it rained the whole week. I remember another time when we were part of a blockade and trying to bring attention to another human rights issue. While my initial motivation was human rights, it was through activism that I connected with others, and I connected on a wide range of issues. tuition fees, environment, women's rights, indigenous rights, poverty issues, I learned that all our struggles were connected and the importance of solidarity. I think that this is critical in working towards change, connecting people, connecting communities, and connecting issues. Our neighbors' issues are our issues, and our issues are our neighbors' issues. Healthcare is something that we are very proud of as Canadians. In my years, though, here, I have witnessed the tragic erosion of healthcare. But more importantly, I have realized that our governments don't pay attention to the social drivers of health of people and the health of communities. The affordable housing crisis is at its worst. I'm even ashamed to mention how low our social assistance and ODSP rates are. That's a real shame. Immigrants and our youth are stuck in a cycle of precarity. And if it were not for the incredible grassroots work of movements like 15 and Fairness, certainly the government would not have acted on minimum wage. I want to see big change. I want to see big change like that. I mean it. Big change. And I think we can do it using this social determinants of health approach, addressing root causes. It's the prevention is better than cure approach. So having everyone housed with the living wage, able to access nutritious food. Bottom line, making sure people live with dignity. That's the best way to take care of our health care, and I strongly believe in it, and I will fight for it. So today I ask you to join me in building an Ontario where everyone belongs, where we take care of each other, where housing is not just a human right by principle, but in practice, where no one lives in poverty, where our children do not have to worry about clean air or water, where our youth are not captured in precarity, where our healthcare is protected and workers are respected, where all our neighbors can live with dignity. Thank you.